الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. So alhamdulillah, we have finished. What have we finished? Arabic. No, what we finished? Jumlatun Ismiya. So a Jumlatun Ismiya, we'll recap that and then we'll move on to the Jumlatun Fi'liyyah. Okay? So Jumlatun Ismiya, what's a Jumla called in Arabic? Jumla is called a Jumla in Arabic because Jumla is Arabic. What's a Jumla in English? A sentence. The plural of Jumla is Jumal. How many types of sentences do we have in Arabic? Two. What are the two called? Jumlatun. You like Jumla Fi'liyyah. You always say that first. Jumlatun Ismiya and Jumlatun Fi'liyyah. So you have Jumlatun Ismiya and Jumlatun Fi'liyyah. What are the two parts of a Jumlatun Ismiya? The Mubtada and the Khabar. Okay, the Mubtada and the Khabar. And what can you add to a Jumlatun Ismiya? What can you add before? You can add kana and laysa. What's kana and laysa called? Fi'lun naqis. You can add a fi'lun naqis. What does kana mean? Was. What does laysa mean? Not. When you add kana and laysa to a jumlatul ismiya, what happens? What's it called? What's the mubtada called? Ismu, not inna. Ismu kana or ismu laysa. And when you add kana and laysa to the khabar, to the jumla ismiya, the khabar is called Khabaru kana or Khabaru laysa. What else can you add to Jumla Ismiya? Harfun mushabbahun bil fa'il. What's harfun mushabbahun bil fa'il? Mubtada is called? Ismu inna. What's inna mean? Indeed. So you call it Ismu inna. And the Khabar, Khabaru inna. What's the i'rab of the Mubtada? Marfu. I'rab of the Khabar? Marfu. The i'rab of the ismu kana, ismu laysa, marfu'. I'rab of khabru kana and khabru laysa, mansub. I'rab of ismu inna, majroor. Huh? You said yeah, majroor, you changed it. It's not majroor, what is it? Mansub, correct. And the i'rab of khabru inna, marfu'. Now the long awaited Jumlatun Fi'liyyah makes its debut. Al-Jumlatun Fi'liyyah. So a Jumlatun Ismiya is a sentence made up of nouns. So a Jumlatun Fi'liyyah is a sentence which starts with a verb. If it has a verb at the beginning, what's this called? A Jumlatun Fi'liyyah. Okay? Now, in English, like if you have a Jumla Ismiya in English, what does it have in the middle normally? Zaid is. So the key word, a Jumla Ismiya has what in the middle? Is. And a Jumlatun Fi'liyyah has what, for example? Zaid runs. Okay, Zaid runs. What are the two key words in here? Zaid and run. So a Jumla Fi'liyyah, even in English, it must have two parts. What are the two parts? The verb and the subject. What's the verb? Fa'il. We've done that before. And the subject? Fa'il, meaning the person doing the action. The person who does the verb. He's called the subject. Correct? What's it called? The subject. So every Jumla Fi'liyyah, every Jumlatun Fi'liyyatun must have a subject, the person doing the action, like in our example, Zaid, and it must have a verb like runs. So a Jumlatun Fi'liyyah must have how many parts? Two parts. The subject and the verb. You following? So for example, the boy sat. So in there, who's the subject? The boy. Why is boy the subject? He's doing the sitting. And what's the verb? Sat, because that's the verb. Yes? Everybody with me? Okay. Sometimes you can get more. You say, for example, the boy ate. So who's doing the action? The boy. What did he do? What did he eat? The apple. When did he eat it? When? Got you, tricked you again. Where did he eat it? In the house. When did he eat it? It's not mentioned. But you can get more parts on Friday. On Friday. Happily. So see how many other parts you can add into a sentence? But for now, we're going to focus on the main bits and then expand out. But it's for information purposes. Keep your mind open that you can have more than one. You can have subject and the verb and more parts we'll learn as we go ahead. Okay. The first thing is the subject is the person who is carrying out the action. The boy sat. Okay? And what do we call the person who's doing the action? Fa'il. So in a Jumlatun Ismiya, we have this person doing, the subject is the, in Jumlatun Ismiya, what's the subject called? Mubtada. In Jumlatun Ismiya, the subject is called what? Mubtada. And no, in Jumlatun Ismiya. And in Jumlatun Fi'liyyah, the person doing the action is called what? Fa'il. Okay? Okay? Right. And one more thing here. And the fa'il is always going to be marfu'. It can be, so in terms of number, gender, no limitations. And in terms of i'rab, it must be what? Marfu'. And in terms of ma'rifah, nakira, there's no limitations as well. So if fa'il can be anything it wants to be, in terms of its characteristics, only thing that has to change is what? It has to be what? Marfu'. That is what I was talking to you about. That we have, in English, we have something called the subject. Yes? What do we have? Subject. The subject is the thing we are talking about. What is it? The thing that we are talking about. Now in a Jumlatun Ismiya, we call this what? So if a subject in Jumla Ismiya, and we have a subject in Jumlatun Fi'liyyah. And in Jumlatun Ismiya, the subject is called what? No. Mubtada. The khabar is the information. And in Jumlatun Fi'liyyah, what's the subject called? Fa'il. Are you following? So you have, in English, it's one term, one word. What's this one word called? Subject. But in Jumlatun Ismiya in Arabic, this subject is called the Mubtada. And in Jumlatun Fi'liyyah, this subject is called the Fa'il. What's the i'rab of both of them? Marfu. That's the easy part. They're both the same i'rab. They're both marfu. Are you following me? Yes? Okay. Right. So far so good? So let's recap. We have a Jumla Fi'liyyah. Jumla Fi'liyyah must have a fa'il and a subject. What's subject called? So fa'il. What must it have? A fa'ilun and a fa'ilun. What's the two parts that it must have? A fa'ilun and a fa'ilun. Yes? Okay. In English, I will say Zaid went. And I will say Zaid is happy. Yes? Correct? So the subject always comes what in Arabic? In English? First. So the thing you're talking about always comes what? First. Okay? In Arabic, the mubtada comes first before the khabar. But in a Jumlatun Fi'liyyah, in which sentence? A Jumlatun Fi'liyyah, what's the order? Does the subject come first? No. What comes first? The fa'il comes first. And what comes second? The fa'il comes second. So for example, you've done in sarf, basics. Dhahaba is what? A verb, isn't it? Madi or mudari'? Madi. What does it mean, dhahaba? He went. Okay, so dhahaba is to go, went. So this is the verb. Then this is the fa'il. You have fa'ilun first. Then fa'il. But how do you translate went Zaid? Zaid went. So in Arabic, what's the structure? Fa'ilun and fa'ilun. Fa'ilun, fa'ilun. Jumlatun fi'liyyah, fa'il, fa'il. Again, jumlatun ismiyah, that's first. Then jumlatun fi'liyyah. And jumlatun fi'liyyah has which parts? Two parts, which is called fi'lun. What's the i'rab of the fa'ilun? Marfu'. Okay, this is how you do tarkib. You write the verb. You get a blue pen. You overline it. You overline it here, and you write on top fa'ilun and fa'ilun. And then you translate it first. Obviously, you translate. When you translate, you have to translate the fa'il first, because the subject always comes first in English. Correct? You won't say went Zaid. You say Zaid went. Okay? Everybody ready? Everybody okay with me? Everybody following me? Nobody lost? Yes? So let's recap again. Jumla is a sentence. Jumlatun ismiya and jumlatun fa'liya. Jumlatun fa'liya has how many parts? 2 parts. The first part is called the fa'lun and the second part is called the fa'ilun. The fa'ilun is always going to be what? Marfu'. Yes? Okay, let's try a few practices now. We have the word amana rasulu. Where does amana rasulu come in the Quran? Amana rasulu, yeah, I know, but where? The third juz where? Yeah, before Surah Ali Imran, Surah Baqarah, the last 2 ayat of Surah Baqarah. Amana rasulu bima unzila ilayhi min rabbihi wal mu'minun. So we can do this part now, not the rest, but do the easy part. Amana is a verb. So amana means, anybody? To believe. So believe is a verb. So we have here a fa'ilun, to believe. But obviously don't translate as to believe, it's a past tense. Because it doesn't have a ya or ta before it, does it? Yu'minu or tu'minu. So this is going to be a madi, meaning believed. Who is the fa'il? Who is doing the believing? Ar-Rasul. So you overline it. You write here fa'il. How do you translate this? The messenger. Oops. How do you translate this now? The messenger believe. Amana fa'lun, ar-rasulu fa'ilun. And the fa'lun and fa'ilun become jumlatun. Jumlatun fa'liyah. Do you understand? Ja'a an-nabiyyu. Ja'a, what does ja'a mean? To come. So ja'a an-nabiyyu. Is this jumlatun ismiya or jumlatun fa'liya? Jumlatun fa'liya. Why is it jumlatun fa'liya? It starts with a verb, ja'a. Is this madi or is this mudari'? Madi. What does ja'a mean? You write here. Fa'ilun, the verb. This is the fa'ilun, the subject. And then this becomes what? Jumlatun fa'liya. How do you translate this? So, ja'a is came, and an-nabiyyu is what? The prophet. So the prophet came. You following? Jalasa, what jalasa mean? To sit. Al-adubu, enemy. So how do you translate this now? What's jalasa in a Turkey grammatical analysis? Jalasa is the fa'ilun. Al-adubu is the fa'ilun. And how do you translate it? The enemy first, the enemy sat. Translate a second. Now let's do mudari'. Yaji'u, is it madi or mudari'? Why is it mudari'? How do you know it's mudari'? Has a ya at the beginning. And yaji'u is a mudari' of ja'a. Ja'a means to come. So yaji'u means comes or is coming. So yaji'u rijalu, the men are coming. The men are coming. So yaji'u is fa'ilun, ar-rijalu is the fa'ilun, and then the fa'ilun and fa'ilun become the jumlatun fa'iliyah, and you translate it as what? The men are coming. Yadhhabu, dhahaba, yadhhabu is a mudari of dhahaba, which means, so go. So again, fa'ilun, fa'ilun, yadhhabu al-abu, the father goes, the father is going, the father will go. You can do different translations when you see it in a conversation, when you hear it in a conversation, or you see it in a paragraph. You know which tense is referring to. Yes. Yasumu rajulu. What does yasumu mean? What does sawm mean? Fasting. So yasumu. So the man is fasting, fast, or the man will fast. You see how you translate it? Very easy. So jumlatun ismiya, jumlatun fa'liya, and jumla fa'liya has how many parts? 2. The fa'lun and the fa'ilun. Any questions? Everybody with me? Okay, feminine subjects. Okay, you may have done this in kana, but let's recap. When the subject is feminine, what do you have to do? You have to bring the feminine form of the verb. What do you have to do? You have to bring the feminine form of the verb. Okay? Okay? So the Madi, when al-Madi is feminine, you have to add a ta'ul sakina. This is called a ta'ul sakina. You have to bring a ta'ul sakina at the end. What do you have to bring at the end? A ta'ul sakina. So for example, jalasa is for masculine. So if the person doing the action is masculine, you say jalasar rajulu. But if the person sitting is female, you say jalasat khadijatu. You see? So you have to add a ta at the end. So jalasat. Okay? And the mudari, when the mudari is feminine, you have to add a ta at the beginning. So to make a madi feminine, what do you have to add at the ending? Ta as-sakina. Jalasa becomes jalasat. Dhahaba becomes dhahabat. Sarrafa becomes sarrafat. Good. Amana becomes amanat. And to make a mudari feminine, you add ta at the beginning. So yadhhabu becomes tadhhabu. Yasumu becomes tasumu. Yu'minu becomes tu'minu. Okay? So for example here. So if you have what's the word? Nama. Nama means to sleep. You know that word very well. You probably do that action a lot. Yes? So nama is to sleep. To make it feminine, what do you have to do now? Add this at the end. So nama is, so same structure again. Nama is the fa'il. Khadijatu is the fa'il. Translation is what? The Khadija. Or Khadija. Khadija slept. Same translation. Only difference is that you have to add the ta because this is feminine. So you have to change this to feminine. Yasumu is fast. If the women are fasting, you don't say yasumun nisa. What do you say? Tasumun nisa'u. Is it nisa'u or nisa'a or nisa'i? Nisa'u. Why? Because the file has to be marfu. Very good. Amanat al-mar'atu. This is a bit of a tricky one now. So amana, you have amana. What do you have? Amana. Then you make it feminine, so you say amanat. And then you have the fa'il is what? The fa'il is al-mar'atu. Okay? But when you from the Quran, you become familiar from reading the Quran that the Arabs don't stop. Like you say, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Or how do you read it? Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. All the words, you just Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. You read it continuously. So the Arabs like to read continuously. They don't like to have stops in the sentences. So if you say Amanat al-mar'atu, you have to stop, don't you? So what did you do? When you have the feminine form, but the word after the feminine form has alif lam. They don't say Amanat al-mar'atu. What did they say? Amanatil mar'atu. You give it a kasra. So when you have a feminine fa'il, and the Madi, amanat, you give a kasra to make it join. Amanat. So here there's no alif lam, so you don't have to change it. Tasumun nisa. This is mudari, there's no ta at the end. If you've got an amanat, then you have to change the amanat to what? Amanatil mar'atu. Again, qama is what? To stand. And al-ukhtu, the sister stood. So you say qamat, al-ukhtu becomes? Very good. Qamatil ukhtu. The mother sat, jalasat al-ummu becomes jalasatil ummu. To wake up, the little girl woke up. Tifla yastayqidu. So tastayqidu tiflatu. The little girl wakes up. Okay? Yes? I like summaries. So let's do another summary again. Let's start. Jumla. Jumlatun ismiya. You like fi'liya, don't you? You love it, jumlatun fi'liya. Jumlatun ismiya and jumlatun fi'liya. Jumla ismiya is made up of mubtada and khabar. You can add what before it? Fa'lun naqis or harf mushabbahun bil fa'l. Then the ism becomes ismu kana, ismu laysa and khabaru kana and khabaru laysa. You can add inna, which indeed you have the ismu inna and khabaru inna. Then jumlatun fi'liya. Jumlatun fi'liya is made up of what? Fa'lun and fa'ilun. If the fa'ilun is mudhakkar, then what form do you use? Jalasa, fa'ala and yaf'alu. If the fa'il is mu'annas, you use Fa'al, it's used fa'ala. Fa'alat and taf'alu. Yes? You got it? Everybody follow me? Any questions? Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.